All right, let's talk about a powerful, almost invisible habit that has this sneaky way of destroying our wealth. It's a psychological glitch, and it affects pretty much all of us. But here's the great part. There is a surprisingly simple way to beat it.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever gotten a pay raise? You feel that amazing rush of excitement? And then, I don't know, a few months down the line, you look at your bank account and just think, where did all that extra money go? If you've ever felt like you're stuck on a financial treadmill, you are definitely not alone.
Believe it or not, the answer to this whole puzzle starts with a kind of strange but totally true story from the 18th century. It involves a French philosopher and his brand new dressing gown.
So, this is Denis Diderot. Now, for most of his life, he was a brilliant guy. But, well, he wasn't exactly rich. He lived a pretty simple, comfortable life surrounded by things that just worked, you know? Nothing fancy. And a really big part of that simple life was his old dressing gown. It was worn in, it was familiar, and honestly, he loved it. It just fit. It fit perfectly into his modest little world. Everything was in harmony.
But then, everything changed. A friend gave him a gift. And it was this magnificent, luxurious scarlet robe. I mean, it was beautiful, elegant, and way, way nicer than anything else he owned. And this, right here, is where the trouble begins.
So you'd think, great gift, right? Wrong. That one, single, seemingly wonderful gift ended up having completely disastrous consequences. It set off this chain reaction that would actually drive him into debt.
See, here's the problem. His stunning new robe was suddenly out of place. It was so nice, so elegant, that it made all his other stuff, his simple desk, his old chair, his worn-out rug, it made it all look like junk by comparison. The harmony was totally shattered.
And this kicked off a full-blown consumption spiral. First, the old rug had to go. It was replaced with one that was worthy of the new robe. But then, his simple straw chair looked terrible next to the new rug, so he bought an expensive leather one. Well, that led to a new desk, then new art for the walls, and it just went on and on and on. He was chasing that feeling of consistency again. And this whole phenomenon, it now has a name. It's called the Diderot Effect. It's our natural human tendency to want all of our stuff to kind of match in quality and style. So when a new, high-status item comes into our lives, it can make us feel really dissatisfied with our old things, pushing us to upgrade everything else to match.
Okay, so that's a cool story about a philosopher from a long time ago, but what in the world does that have to do with us today? Well, it turns out a lot. Let's connect the dots from his robe to our bank accounts.
You see, the Diderot effect isn't just about furniture or fancy clothes. It's a really powerful force that explains why our spending habits totally change the minute our income goes up. A new salary? Well, that's our new Scarlet Robe. And this leads us to a fundamental, almost unbreakable rule of money. It's known as Parkinson's law. And put simply, it just says that our expenses will always, inevitably, rise to meet our income. The more money we make, the more ways we find to spend it.
And this, right here, is the trap. The expectation is simple, right? Higher income should mean more savings, more financial freedom. But the reality, thanks to Parkinson's law and the Diderot effect, is that a higher income just leads to higher expenses. We end up in the exact same spot, just with nicer stuff.
And that is the very reason why, months after that big pay raise, you might not feel any richer at all. Yeah, the money's coming in, but it's flowing right back out just as fast to support this upgraded lifestyle that suddenly feels completely necessary. It's a super frustrating cycle, and it's so common.
So, how do we escape this? The solution, believe it or not, isn't about earning more money. It's about outsmarting our own psychology with one really powerful, simple strategy.
The whole key is to create something called artificial scarcity. You have to make that extra income literally invisible before your brain even gets a chance to see it and figure out how to spend it. Because if you can't see it, you can't spend it. Simple as that. This is the famous pay-yourself-first strategy, and it is beautifully simple. The second you get a raise or your income goes up, you immediately set up an automatic transfer for that exact extra amount. You get it out of your main checking account and into a savings or investment account before you even notice it's there.
And as the source material puts it, the absolute best way to do this is by diverting raises directly to brokerage accounts before they ever hit your checking account. That automation piece is everything. It takes willpower completely out of the equation.
And here is why this works so well. This one little action completely short-circuits both the Diderot effect and Parkinson's law. Your lifestyle expenses can't expand to meet your new higher income if that new income never even lands in your spending account in the first place. You just keep living on your old budget while you're effortlessly building wealth in the background.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. Just take a look at your own life, your own spending. What is your scarlet robe? Is it that new car that suddenly makes your perfectly good apartment look a little shabby? Is it a new phone that kicks off a craving for a new watch and new headphones? Just figuring out what it is, that's the first step to taking back control.